like the pressure of a 7th game in a Stanley Cup Series. It's everywhere here in St. Louis tonight. The Norris Division Championship game. The referee tonight, Don Koharski. Kevin Collins and John D'Amico on the lines. And you talk about pressure. What about the two goaltenders, J.D.? Goaltenders in this situation, well, it must be something special for Reggett and Millen.
Well, for Reggett, it is certainly a chance to further establish himself. He's been very well. The experience has to go to Greg Millen, who he too has played very well. Both goaltenders, Bob, would love some work early to get rid of the butterflies.
Mahar at center ice for St. Louis to start this big game. Reeves and Cavallini on the wings against Inachak, Preacher, and Podubny. Bourgeois is on the defense for St. Louis, along with Lee Norwood, number 23. And the Leafs are starting McGill and Nyland.
Interesting to see the Leafs. They're starting 7 defensemen, including Gill. They're going to go with 3 lines. The 2 penalty killers will be Daou and Therion.
Inachak shoots it in from center ice. Millen out of the net, stopping it there for Charlie Bourgeois. He gets it up on the wing. Cavallini spying Reeds, trying to go in behind Nyland. And Reggett will take no chances. Not in this kind of game. Neither goaltender will take a chance, and they'll be smothering the puck.
Absolutely. They want to try and get things calmed down in their own zone. Dan Maloney, a veteran himself of 40 playoff games during his career, his 11-year career. He played in Chicago, Detroit, LA, and Toronto. 3 lines he's going to go with. He wants mileage out of the Inachak line to have 3 quality lines, plus the penalty killers, as I mentioned. The 2 penalty killers and 7 defensemen.
Fergus comes out with Steve Thomas and with Rick Vaive out of the lineup. As Dave Hodge mentioned, Brad Smith gets a regular shift. Here's the first shot toward the Leaf net, and another, both blocked in front of Reggett. Out comes Fergus looking around. Gives it to Smith on the wing. And offside was Thomas. Close call as Smith had to handle the pass on his skate.
Jacques Demers was very, very quiet before this game. I have never seen him this uptight or nervous. The 4 changes he made, Bob, no question in my mind. He feels that the team tired in that 3rd period in Game 6 in Toronto. He wants fresh legs in there. He's rolling the dice, and he hopes he comes up a winner.
Boy, wasn't he tight before the game tonight. When you and I went in to have a talk with him, he's always so open and come in, sit down, but not tonight, and you can understand why.
Pressure,
7th game.
Pressure on the goaltenders, pressure on the coaches almost as much.
He was, you might say, almost apologetic about feeling the way he did. The other hand, Dan Maloney, very tight-lipped, pacing around before this game started. Well, we're underway. Let's see what happens. Near center, Mahar trying to get going. Preacher bumped by Norwood. Norwood bumped Inachak. Long shot by net. Was a rebound there. Mahar set it up. Cavallini's shot missed on the far side. And here's Podubny trying to get out. He didn't. Island has to go back. The Blues make changes quickly. Raglan along with Wickenheiser on the ice. And the Leafs pound one in. A high shot. First stop of the game for Millen as Nyland let her go. Now the Blues start out. 3 of them coming to center. Eddie Beers in there with Wickenheiser to Beers. Beers rolled it in front. And it just missed again. Raglan was in front of Reggett trying to tip it in. And he was bowled over. Here's a shot that's wide. It'll come all the way outside the line. Portnell on the ice, along with Clark and Lehman. Back there is Iafrate with Boria solving. No score in this first period, nearing the 2-minute mark. 7th game, all or nothing tonight. Lehman shot, a bullet missed. Wendell Clark went in after it, and Raglan picks it up for St. Louis and dumps it down the ice.
See, both teams not taking many chances here, Bob. They're dumping it in or taking long shots, not fooling around at all in their own zone.
Iafrate's pass looked dangerous enough, but it got outside the blue line. Then the Blues were offside. They played 2 minutes and 16 seconds of the first period. We're scoreless.
Bob, in this series, there's been 6 games played. St. Louis has scored the first goal 4 times. They've won 2 and lost 2. Toronto scored the first goal twice. They've won 1, lost 1. So it hasn't been overly important.
Maple Leafs start out. Pass by Iafrate. Didn't click near center. Federico dropped it back to Pavis. He dumped it up to center ice. And Smith coming in after it as Thomas couldn't carry on. Here's Salming. Salming falling, but he knocked it in by Ramage. And Ramage goes behind his own net for St. Louis. Thomas standing out in front of the goal. Pass off the boards near center, stopped by Borje Salming. He stood right up there against Fedorko. Now Fergus backhands it in. Ramage is coming back. Ramage trying to play it out. It's icing as he picked it up, and it'll come back into the leave zone.
Fedorko's now second on his team in scoring in the playoffs with 13 points behind Gilmore. I asked him today about the fact that he's been double shifted a lot. What does he like better? He said center, simply because he's never played left wing before. And right now, Brian Sutter is stepping onto the ice, and you can hear the ovation he's getting. His first shift in this series. He did play some in Minnesota, but he hurt himself.
Listen to this crowd. A standing ovation for Sutter. Boy, if you want a gutsy player to win a game for you, you got one here in number 11 with the St. Louis Blues, Brian Sutter. And folks, he's hurt. Look at him battle in front of the net. Leafs try to shoot it out. The Blues, Paslowski, he was bumped by Todd Gill, who then fell. Gilmore back of the net. Sutter is parked in front of the goal. He's number 11. Number 11 for the Maple Leafs, Lehman couldn't clear it out of the zone. It comes in front. Here comes Sutter with a chance. Reagan turning around looking for the puck, and Sutter nearly got a goal. There's a penalty coming up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sticks go high. You can imagine the tension.
It's going to be a cross-checking penalty. It happened right in front of Ken Reagan as they all scrambled for that loose puck. Sutter gets on for his first shift. They forecheck, create a scoring chance, make the Leafs take a penalty, and they spark this crowd to an even louder noise.
From the face-off, the Blues now in a power play, first of the game, Ramage, and the shot misses. And a scrap has started. It's Hunter and Dow into it.
Obviously, one player much stronger than the other. That's why Hunter is on top. This started right off the face-off, Bob. But what's interesting here is Hunter is a very good offensive player. In fact, he and Paslowski lead the team in power play goals in the playoffs, but Daou is a very good penalty killer. So the trade-off here is going to be relatively even.
So Daou, the Maple Leafs, and Hunter of the St. Louis Blues will go to the penalty boxes here at 3:37 of the first period. Okay, they're ready to go. Play underway again, and Salming takes it behind the net. Courtnall is on there with him. He starts away, takes the pass. Courtnall gives it to Iafrate up near center. Iafrate has Wendell Clark with him. Iafrate going in, dropped it right back to Reeves, who is following him in. Pavis now. Ramage going back to the net. To Pavis in the corner. Pavis from the other side will give it to Ramage again. And Ramage waits. Wendell Clark was in there, so is Courtnall. Here comes Iafrate. Iafrate knocked it down, but the Blues get it out of the zone. Salming has to be careful going back as Fedorko was coming in. Salming around the net. Shaking Fedorko and coming to the line. A lead pass a little too far for Wendell Clark. Millen has to play it. Pavis ran into the goalpost. That was Ramage who hit the goalpost and knocked the net off. Clark just got a piece of him, and Ramage went flying into the pipe down there. He's okay.
He's been playing injured all throughout the playoffs. Watch Clark here, give him a little shot, kicks his feet out, which is not a legal play, and he falls down hard. He's had problems with a hip pointer. May have landed on his hip there. He didn't play the full game in Game 6. And even though Jacques Demers says he's playing about 50% as far as his capabilities go, he said half of Rob Ramage is better than no Rob Ramage. That's how good he is.
I don't know if history will repeat, but we're told that the St. Louis Blues have been involved in a 7th game in a deciding series 7 times, and 5 of those went into overtime.
And of those 5 in overtime, 3 of them they have won. So they're no strangers as far as overtime goes in the playoffs.
Nearing the 5-minute mark, first period, and there's no score. That's Netwas back there waiting. 49 seconds left in the penalty. The Lehman of the Maple Leafs coming out. The St. Louis Blues. Norwood carrying the puck in. Norwood had it taken away by Kotsopoulos to Fergus. Penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the St. Louis Blues. Katsopoulos is knocked down by Norwood. And now the play is called. And Norwood of the St. Louis Blues is getting the gate here.
Let's watch Norwood react here after he gets hit from behind by Thomas. Watch him react and give Thomas a shot right there. A backhand slap across the head. And that deserves a 2-minute penalty. Players have to control themselves. A one-game series. That was in the offensive zone on top of it.
Leafs have the man advantage now. It's stopped by Salming and Iafrate. Back to Iafrate. Back to Salming. He shoots. Stopped by Millen. Iafrate again. Dumping it behind the net. The Blues get a chance to clear it out. There's Salming. Can't stop that. It was ripped away by Salming by Bourgeois.
Bob, the thing is, with the Leafs, you got to be careful against them. They're number one on the power play, and on the road, an incredible 33.3%, 6 for 18 on the road.
Here's Fergus coming in for Toronto, dropping it. This looks dangerous. The shot picked away by Millen. Tested by Thomas on that shot. Now it comes out near the line and just kept onside by Iafrate. The Blues get it out at 2-on-1 almost. That pass too far for Raglan, who just stepped from the penalty box and then rammed into Iafrate. Raglan is young, but he's a rough customer, number 25. The Leafs shoot it in. Fergus going after it at the 6-minute mark of the opening period, and no score. Blues shoot it out.
Raglan is young and aggressive and very tough, but he just made a mistake. He came to the bench for a line change and then decided not to get off the ice. They almost got caught with too many men on the ice. Reeds had jumped on.
Salming nearly got caught in front as Reeds was forechecking. Now Gilmore near center. Salming took it away from him, but Reeds is there for St. Louis shooting it in. Coming up to the 7-minute mark, first period. 30 seconds left on the Leafs power play. There's no score. A pass to Winnichak, skipped over his stick. You're going to see a lot of that tonight. The ice is not great. A hot day, over 90 degrees in St. Louis again today. Here's Salming coming in. Salming is upended. Got a pass back, but the Blues shoot it down the ice as Mahar picked it up.
Super penalty killing. St. Louis not allowing Toronto one bit to set up in that blue zone. Not 1 ounce of allowing them to set up.
The penalty is over now, and the fans appreciate the penalty killing of the St. Louis Blues here in this opening period. Just over 7 minutes gone in the period. There's no score, and now there's going to be a penalty to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Gary Nyland, I think.
You're right, Bob. A roughing call to Nyland. And now they start pushing at one another again. Katsopoulos along with Norwood. Nyland has gone. Great penalty killing. The emotions are turning here. Toronto had a chance to get out on top against St. Louis, but the penalty killing did the job for the Blues.
Now they have a power play, and they line it up. Ramage goes back. There's Raglan on the ice. Brian Sutter on the left wing. He missed the pass, though. Fired into the zone. Break it out of the net. Trying to get rid of it. Now he nearly got caught back there. But Durko is in front of the net. Raglan back in the goal, centering it. Back to the blue line. Long shot. Blocked. Leafs try to get it out. Bob McGill was grabbed, but he slapped it all the way down the ice. Brian Benning, number 18, getting his first shift for the St. Louis Blues. Dowell was dumped in front of the net, but the play continues to center, and it's Ramage going in. Ramage got away from a check. Here's Kozlowski. Back to the line. Benning shot dribbled near the net, and the Leafs dump it out and down to center ice. A minute left. And the Nyland penalty. Courtnall is on there, trying to take it away from Kozlowski, who goes back. He stole it. Courtnall. Oh, and Millen came out diving and took it away from Courtnall. He was in alone. He was all alone in front, just as surprised as everybody else was. The puck coughed up right on his stick, but Millen was alive and well. Kozlowski shot. Rebound. Score! 1-0, St. Louis. Eddie Beers and the capacity crowd here up the arena goes wild.
Watch this rebound. Remember, Millen made the big save at the other end. Eddie Beers, a power play specialist, just was on top of the play. He dropped it off, and then he went to the net. As soon as he passed that puck off, he went looking for a rebound, and he was open. Paslowski with a good low shot to set up the rebound, and they're happy here. Paslowski, remember, gave that puck up in the St. Louis zone to Danny Daou, and Greg Millen made a great save. Eddie Beers on the power play. Again, watch Beers dump it off. Now he's going to go to the net. He goes right to the net looking for a rebound, and it comes right to him, and he beats the player to the puck and popped it in up over top of Ken Reagan, who had extended himself looking after that first shot. Now Greg Terrion is just headed back towards the Leafs dressing room. I don't know what the problem is. He had been killing a penalty. Remember, the Leafs have 6 defensemen dressed. They can't afford to lose any forwards. Or excuse me, 7 defensemen dressed.
So it's 1-0 St. Louis in this crucial 7th game. The final in the Norris division. The winner moves on. Lehman in with a shot. That's deflected wide. Ragman back there covering up for the St. Louis Blues. Trying to get it out as Wickenheiser. Kotsopoulos took a shot. Deflected in front by Norwood. Norwood bumped by Clark. Got away from Clark. Knocked down by Clark. And a penalty coming up to Clark of the Maple Leafs. Raglan is moving in. Feeds it on the wing. Wickenheiser bumped by Todd Gill. Up from St. Catharines. He's number 23. The Blues have the puck centering it. Reagan made a big save. And the play is called as Reagan made contact and cleared the puck, and a big save it was.
Wendell Clark forechecking the best he can, but watch him get caught here when he reaches with his stick. He quit skating, down went Norwood, and he did it right in front of Koharski. Don Koharski calling everything here, pucking the call on Wendell Clark. And remember, Beers' goal, the only goal of the first period here on the power play.
Another power play now for St. Louis with Clark off and Ramage along the line with it. Benning tossed one in. That's wide of the net. Reagan trying to grab the puck. Hunter is back of the goal. He lost it. Salming couldn't clear it. Ramage shot. Not a good one. A low shot. Cavallini from the court. LaValle rather coming out front. LaValle to the other side. Benning's drive hit the goal post. 2 Leafs come out. One is back. Here's Dan Daou going in. Benning catching him, but Fergus shoots. And out comes Millen to make a big save on Fergus. 1-0 St. Louis. Power play continues. They pour it into the zone. This is Fedorko breaking for the net. He couldn't center it. Hunter is in there, ever dangerous. Hunter turning around, Salming watching him. Hunter looking behind the net. There's Fedorko waiting for it. He didn't pick it up, and Bob McGill has a chance to clear it out. Did not. Ramage stopped it. LaValle going after it. McGill bumped with him. The Blues in looking for it. Salming hurries in there, falls at the line. Norwood shot. Reagan stopped it. Rebound. And a play is called. Another scrap has started in front of the net. Hunter and McGill this time wrestling and trying to get loose.
I'll tell you, Bob, did it ever heat up in front of Ken Reagan? Hunter is a very, very strong individual, and his job on the power play is to stand in traffic and find the loose pucks, and he does it very, very well. This time McGill and he were pushing and shoving. Finally, it was like a grenade. It went off and exploded, and they got involved. What pace they're going at here. Up and down. Benning, you can see why he's on the point on the power play. What a great shot he has. He hit the post. He can skate well because he recovered to catch Daou on that.
Courtnall in on the draw against Mahar. Courtnall won it, but Mahar moved over on the boards quickly and knocked it back into Bourgeois. Out for Reeds. Reeds to Mahar, skating up near the line. That pass was intercepted. Leafs have to go back now. Clark ready to step back on. Clark's penalty is over. He's on the ice again for the Maple Leafs. And it's Courtnall coming out. 1-0 St. Louis. Courtnall is stopped near center. Courtnall takes it again, gives it to Wendell Clark. Clark coming in, can't find room to shoot it. Rags the puck near the blue line. Does a pretty good job, too. Here's Salming to Clark. Clark gets in there, but he had to take the pass on his skate and couldn't get a shot. He didn't have time to roll it to the stick. And a high stick making contact by Iafrate, so the face-off will have to go back inside the Maple Leaf blue line. Whenever you have the man advantage, of course, in the attacking zone and you get your stick up like that, well, A bit of a penalty. It'll come all the way back into your zone, where it's coming now for this face-off.
Been a strange year for Al Iafrate, who showed up in camp at 241 pounds, way over shape. Now he's come along and played well in the playoffs. He understands that mental aspect of the game is what's important for him. He's physically very strong. He realizes he has to work on the mental aspect. He says it himself, be more prepared for each and every game.
1:15 left on the Maple Leaf power play. They're trailing the St. Louis Blues 1-0. Eddie Beers has the goal. And here come the Maple Leafs. This is Salming straight up the ice, going to center and in. Salming rolled it ahead for Lehman. Lehman looking around, back to Salming. Salming over on the other side. That's Thomas. Thomas takes the shot. Smith in there with 2 wraps at it. And Millen standing there made the save both times. Salming now to Thomas. Another shot. Rebound. Knocked in wide. Smith taking a pounding in front of the net. He's knocked down. The Leafs keep it in. A pass along the boards. Kick back out. Boy, she's rough down there tonight. Bodies flying everywhere, but the Leafs are in again. Thomas bumped by Gilmore. He fell. Leafs trying to get loose, and it's cleared down the ice by Wickenheiser. Only 20 seconds left on the power play. Here's a pass up on the wing. Lehman has stopped. Mahar will send the Leafs back, and that will kill the penalty.
You see the Leafs, once they get into that zone, they get chances. They're having trouble trying to establish that St. Louis zone. How about the goaltending of Greg Millen? What balance he showed 3 times in a row on Smith.
Peter in a check, hit hard by Mahar. Mahar dumped the puck out to the Maple Leaf line, and the St. Louis penalty is over. Podubny is up after the puck. He'll go offside with it, with Preacher in ahead of him, and the play is called.
Podubny leads all playoff players with game-winning goals. He has 3, which is quite a number considering that he's played in 9, or excuse me, the Leafs have only played in 9 games. An interesting person. A lot of people like to collect different things. Sports people especially like to collect hats of sports teams or sticks of players, etc. Walter Podubny collects Three Stooges tapes, the old tapes and movies. He's got them all, he said, except for 6, and that entails well over 100 tapes. He looks for them everywhere, especially when the team plays in Los Angeles. Hours on end of hunting them out.
Here he is now hunting Norwood, and he can't stop him, but he bumped him on the boards as he made the pass. Gilmore went in there, tried to set it up for Reeves. Hatsopoulos gets it up to Inachak. Near center ice, Inachak going in with Preacher. Podubny is trailing. There's Preacher in there, takes a hit from Norwood. Puck loose on the side of the net. It's centered. It hit a skate with Preacher open on the other side. And it's Gilmore for St. Louis, just getting rid of it. The Blues making changes. Hatsopoulos is back there against Cavallini. Leafs get the puck out of the zone with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the period. Blues lead 1-0. Fedorko in there, forechecking. Here comes Paslowski. And Regan again saw the puck come out from Paslowski. Before anybody could move in, he put his glove on it.
Paslowski, of course, was a member of the Montreal Canadian organization. In fact, he played with injured defenseman Bill Root for a year in Nova Scotia back in 81-82. He played Tier 2 hockey in Western Canada and Prince Albert, and then he went from there directly to Nova Scotia and then to Montreal for 26 games before the big deal where he was traded along with Wickenheiser and Delorme to St. Louis for Turnbull. But the thing with Paslowski, no Tier 1 hockey, no college hockey, direct from Tier 2 to the American League. Interesting way of doing things.
Speaking of Wickenheiser, he's on the ice again now for St. Louis. Jacques Demers, of course, having the last change on any ship. Wickenheiser out there against Daou. And from the draw. It did not happen that quickly as 2 players were inside the big circle. So Kevin Collins moved over in a hurry, and he is warning Raglan now and to Courtnall to stay back. But they're in. Now they're out. Finally, the puck dropped in. And it's Courtnall getting the puck across the blue line to center. He was upended. Norwood feeds it back for Bourgeois. Bourgeois nearly lost it to Courtnall, who's in there forechecking again. Here's Wendell Clark stealing it. Clark passes over in front. The Blues can't get it out. Clark went after it. There's Courtnall racing to the corner. Got away from Norwood's hit. In back of the net, big Bourgeois against Courtnall again. Lehman couldn't stop the pass. And the Blues get it up to center. Raglan moving forward. He left it for Beers, who shoots it in. Wickenheiser went after it. Raglan fanned on it. He tried to feed it into Wickenheiser behind the net. There's Raglan stealing it. Beers shot. Oh, and he just missed with that shot with Raglan moving to the short side. Raglan bumping Clark. I wouldn't be surprised if they get something going there. Wendell Clark suffering from the flu last week, but he promises today he's okay.
I wonder if St. Louis have scouted Reggett a lot. They're shooting it. Almost every shot's been on the ice on Reggett this whole first period, Bob.
One shot has gone in. Smith didn't see Paslowski come up. He nearly stole it. 1-0 St. Louis with 4:45 remaining in the first period. Final game for the Norris Division Championship. And the Blues want it badly. They're coming in. Here's Paslowski. He left it in front of the net, and the Leafs, who want it just as badly, move back out. Thomas shoots it to the line. Here's Fergus. Hangs on to it. His teammates are onside. Then he shoots it in. Good play by Fergus, dragging the line. Here's Salming going back with 4:20 left in the period. Still 1-0 St. Louis. His pass intended for Thomas was stopped. Fedorko tried to go in. Thomas took it away from him. Todd Gill played it off the boards behind the net. Smith got rid of it to center ice. And now we're down to 4 minutes left in the opening period in Game 7. Blues shoot it in again for Reggett.
This is the most quickly played first period of the series. Not that many whistles, Bob. More sustained action in this period than we've seen in the prior 6 first periods.
Charlie Bourgeois laying it back for Norwood. Norwood got it ahead to the line. The Blues look organized coming out as Mahar speeds in. Got away from a check. Cavallini couldn't reach it. Cavallini centered it. Reggett had to kick it away from the goal mouth. The Blues keep coming at the Maple Leafs. Norwood at the blue line. Feeds it in for Cavallini. Salming is after him. Salming goes down. A penalty coming up. Yes, it's going to be against Salming of the Maple Leafs. So a penalty late in the period here to Boreas Salming of the Maple Leafs. And a chance for the Blues to go up 2-0. Here's Paslowski behind the net. 2 Leafs are in there watching him. Nyland is one of them trying to get it loose, and Reggett decides he better hang on to that with 2 Maple Leaf players behind the goal.
Again, you see St. Louis trying to set up behind the net. That's what they do on their power plays. That's design. Toronto don't want 2 players heading in behind them. Bart Plager, the assistant coach of the hockey club's 68 playoff games for St. Louis. We're going to have a good, close, in-depth look at Bart Plager during our first intermission. And folks, if you get a chance, watch it. It's highly interesting.
Here's a pass to center. Took a shot. Puck was loose there. McGill fired it down the ice. I can go a little further to JD regarding that intermission feature. Folks, don't miss it. Barclay Plager, a class guy. We'll enjoy his conversation with Dave Hodge. Here's Paslowski coming in. A pass back. Benning shoots. And he missed low on the far side. Ramage tucked it in along the boards. Gilmore waiting, trying to spring somebody loose. Into the corner to Sutter. He's out front. Slides it past that hit escape. Now Gilmore. He comes out with it. Had it poked away. The Leafs showing great patience, setting up the box. And the play is called with a gate down there where the Blues leave for their dressing room. Sprung open on that heavy action as Gilmore was hit by Nyland. McGill.
Also during that first intermission, Bob, we're going to have a preview report of what's coming up in Edmonton tonight. Game 7 involving the Flames and the Oilers. I don't think Leaf Oakland's going to be able to play, but what a series that has been. Captured Western Canada, much as this series has captured Ontario.
Well, the Canadians won theirs last night in the 7th game. This one is into the 7th. The one you just mentioned, JD, which will be getting underway in about 5 minutes from now. Into the 7th. We'll have all the highlights of that game, too, for you here. Right now, it's 1-0 St. Louis. Fedorko to the side of the net. LaValle goes around the net, looking back off the boards to the line. Norwood gave it to him again. LaValle closing in. Sends it off to the side of the net instead of shooting. Fedorko knocks it down. Fedorko with 40 seconds left in this power play. They're showing great patience, too. It's set up for Norwood. Shoots! Hit the goal post. Fedorko has it. In front. Reagan made a great save on Hunter. Two great chances for St. Louis. Norwood hit the post, and Reagan stopped Hunter cold. Reagan will hang on to this one with 16 seconds left in Salming's penalty. And the Leafs, John, are hanging on.
Well, they are St. Louis. Their power play is working here. They're just not scoring. Bad luck, 2 goal post save hit on the power play. Dan Maloney has his club obviously prepared for that puck being behind the net as they're chasing the man if he sets up there. But again, it was a point shot from this man, Norwood, on the ice that hit the goal post, again to the left of Reagan. And then Hunter had a chance, and he made a smart play because somebody had fallen down to block the shot, so he went up high. And the only thing about it was that Reagan beat Hunter on the play. Again, watch Norwood, it moves in, low on the ice again to the left of Reagan, up about a foot, I suppose. And Reagan was out, played it, but it was a great shot and bad luck. Now look at Hunter position himself in front very well. Now a defenseman goes down, and he puts it up high, but Reagan with a great save.
Back to the live action, and Ramage had to move back, allowing Therrien to come out and wait for Dow, who's coming up with him now. Therrien shoots it in. 5 seconds left in the Salming penalty. So the Leafs have killed this penalty with 1:25 left in the period. Paslowski is coming in. He couldn't get by Nyland. Therrien to Salming out of the box. Salming coming in, faked around. Pavis tried to go in and fell as he tried to cut sharply for the net. And the 2 players holding the puck there. Pavis got his hand in there, I think. Scooped it in under Salming, and the play is called with 1:10 left in the period.
Seeing quite an interesting period here. It's been a situation where one team or the other has been short-handed throughout most of it. When that happens, it's tough to get a read on things. Jim Pavis playing well, very well for Jacques Demers on the blue line. Remember, this team 2 years ago lost their divisional final to Minnesota in the 7th game of that series in Minneapolis. It went into overtime, and Steve Payne scored the big goal for the North Stars to eliminate the Blues.
And don't forget, Don Cherry will be along at our first intermission. He had a rough trip today, coming in from Montreal, where he worked the telecast last night in the Forum. But he made it. Took him all day, I think, to get here. Wickenheiser shoots it behind the net. Bourgeois has it. 1 minute left in this first period. Leafs stealing it. Fergus nearly got in front. And it's cleared down the ice. Shots are 9-6 for the Maple Leafs at this point. But most of the Leaf shots came early in the period. The Blues have held the territorial advantage in the second half of this first period.
Barry Salming getting lots of ice time again in this period, especially when the team works at killing penalties or on the power play. Salming, the veteran, is in great shape. I'll tell you, that really helps him. Again, now with Fergus, it's an interesting situation here. He's a left-handed draw, so now they put Thomas over on the right side so we get it to him so Thomas can get the shot away more so than Smith.
51 seconds left in the period. Quick shot by Thomas off the draw, and it hit the side of the net. Now it's Mahar being bumped by Thomas in the corner. Fergus is in there, and the Blues player, Bourgeois, fell on the puck with 40 seconds left. They'll have another face-off to the left of Greg Miller.
That last face-off was interesting because Fergus actually lost the draw, but the Maple Leafs hustled, and they got the loose puck, and Thomas did a 360 and had a pretty good shot on the goal. All sorts of fans, another sold-out St. Louis arena here. They love their Blues come playoff time. Its feeling is just like it was in the old days back in the early 70s, excuse me, late 60s. This was a great, great hockey town.
Kotsopoulos, the defenseman, having a word with Salming, who now moves up at the rim of the circle to the left of the face-off spot. And the face-off will be to the left of the St. Louis net. Fergus skating into the circle now. Mahar will likely go in against him, number 22. Here he comes, and they line up for it. A face-off. It's Mahar getting it over in front of his own goal, and it's cleared out by Ramage down the ice. 30 seconds left in the period. The Blues lead 1-0. Thomas takes the pass, skates a bit away from Mahar. Pass to Smith, he couldn't move up. And it's Kotsopoulos coming back. Mahar in forechecking. He's a good forechecker. He tipped one in front as Wickenheiser took a low shot and just misses. Now Thomas down, trying to center it. At the line, Salming! Oh, what a wicked shot by Salming. Off the arm of Millen and against the glass. The Blues up. Wickenheiser took a shot, and Reggett makes the final stop of the period. And the crowd here at the arena in St. Louis very delighted with a slim lead, however, a lead. The Leafs outshot the Blues 10-6. And the score at the end of the first period, St. Louis won.
That's 10-6, right. Let's get it going here, Bob.
Second period underway. And the Leafs shoot it in across the Blues line, but Norwood is there. He has been a solid defenseman for the Blues in this entire series. Not to say the other defensemen have not played well, but Norwood has been a standout. He's rough, tough, and he seems to be always there in the right spot. Here's the puck coming off the boards, and Nyland has to hurry back. Preacher's in the right spot this time to clear it out over his own line. Hit the linesman D'Amico and goes back in. That'll be offside unless the Leafs can clear it out. They do, so the play continues as the Leafs dump it down the ice, and Pavis is back there. Pavis, a high one knocked down by Podubny. He was bumped quickly by Cavallini, who went flying. Bourgeois starts up this attack for St. Louis. Shoots one in hard. Reggett stepping behind the net. Now he's caught back there for a second. He's an aggressive goaltender too, Reggett is. Not quite like Millen, but he'll move out whenever he feels he has to. There's Millen on the move again, dumping it along the boards and out to center ice for Kotsopoulos of the Maple Leafs. He played it ahead. Blues clear it out. And all the way down the ice, Reggett again has to play it. Todd Gill, number 23. Long pass hitting Courtnall. Courtnall coming in. Courtnall gets set. Can't get a shot, and here's Lehman. Lehman couldn't get a shot. And Lavallee sweeps it away with Fedorko. Lavallee in, faking the shot. And the Leafs break it up. A pass to Lehman. He's by himself up there. Wendell Clark moving in. Lehman now coming up on the play to the right. It's center to Lehman, and it was covered by Norwood. Lehman got it back. But a pass, a vicious one, went by Kotsopoulos. Fedorko brought it in, and that's offside at the Maple Leaf blue line.
Well, we know there's 3 hunters that play in the National Hockey League. Dale, Dave, and Mark. Of course, Mark, you know, they were saying that their dad, Dick, coached the boys up to the junior B level. Obviously, he did a pretty good job back in Petrolia, Ontario, where they're all from. Members of a farming family back in that part of Ontario. So obviously, the old man did a pretty good job, Bob. They're pretty competitive kids, aren't they?
They're tough. They come to play every night, and I don't think there's a difference in any of them. Let's look at the stats. Great careers, the Hunters. Here's Salming coming in. Orius Salming stops, has to back up. He threw it in behind the net. On the other side is Iafredi, who stopped it. Ripped it in again. Thomas missed it back there. Eddie Beers now. Feeds it back. He lost to Thomas. Oh, and he was stopped by Millen. They score! Brad Smith will get the goal. He fed it out front. He was in digging out the rebound, and Millen was busy watching Thomas in front of the net. And it hit Millen and went in. And just like that, the game is tied here at 2:18 of a second period.
The whole thing starts as a turnover from Eddie Beers. He's got the puck along the boards, and he goes back with it. You want to go ahead with the puck. You don't throw it blind. And right there, Thomas, who was being checked, grabbed control of it. Then it's a lucky break. It was just centered in front. It went off the back of Millen into the net. Beers goes back with it. He threw it blind. Now watch Smith as he goes behind the net and gets control of it.
Nadbridge shoots one right on, and that's blocked by Reggett as he went in very quickly after the face-off. The Blues coming back and very close to getting that one-goal lead again.
That's his second goal of the playoffs. He was in the right spot. He took a chance, dumped it in front, and then he just popped it in off the back of the goaltender, Millen. Smith has a lot of experience as far as being a professional hockey player, and he doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that he's replacing Rick Vibe on the wing. He admits there's no way that he's going to replace a Rick Vibe, but he'll certainly go out and give it his best shot. Smith was saying his parents were at the game in Toronto, Game 6, and his mom was completely thrilled with the outcome. Well, she's got to be thrilled back in Windsor after that goal.
It's almost a cliche now, but every coach known has said to his team when they're down, we've got to get one early. And the Leafs have come out here in the second period. They've done just that. That usually lifts the team and develops a bit of a sag. in the opposing team. Let's see what happens. Smith in there again, centered it. Here's a chance. Brady. Rebound is there. Millen made two big sensational saves, and the Blues race down 2-on-1. Krasnowski is upended, and the Leafs clear it out. Millen had to be sensational to prevent the Leafs from taking the lead. Brady back now, dropping into the corner. It's a 1-1 tie, nearing the 4-minute mark of the second period.
And Brady nearly made them made them pay for it, excuse me.
Ramage, long shot, Regan covering carefully as Reeves is coming in on Nyland. Nyland stopped him, and the Leafs dump it out of the zone. Ramage fading back. Dubny forechecking, in a check, picks off the pass, off the boards, faked around, Ramage, he went into Preacher with it, and Preacher had to flip it in behind the net. Cavallini was there. McGill had a notion to come in, he did, took the shot, and that's blocked. Here's Preacher centering it. Again, McGill up the blue line, another shot, it's tipped in front of the net, Dubny nearly jammed it in, and a penalty coming up against the St. Louis Blues. Dubny was dumped in front of the net, and Ramage is going to get a penalty.
Ramage and Podubny now getting their sticks after each other. The Leafs drew a penalty because of some aggressive work in that St. Louis zone. Greg Millen with some great goaltending.
Face off to the left of Millen. And it's Maxwell at the blue line. Maxwell waits there. He hasn't been on the ice very much at all. I think this is his first shift. Maxwell has to hustle over here now. He keeps it in, dumped it in behind the net, and Bourgeois gets a chance to clear it down the ice. They're shorthanded, of course.
A call to Ramage is 2 minutes for holding as Podubny was in front of Greg Millen looking for a rebound. Good effort by Podubny in front.
Here come the Maple Leafs on this power play. The score tied at 1. A pass to Preacher. He fades away from Wickenheiser. Moved up on the boards, couldn't get the return pass. Bourgeois all over Fergus. Wickenheiser is there, and Bourgeois drops on the puck, and he holds it. No further play, but a face-off to the right of Millen, deep in the St. Louis zone.
Here's Rob Ramage in the penalty box. Both coaches have instructed their teams, if you're going to get involved with somebody or get caught in a scrap or 2-minute minors each, try to get somebody that has equal talent as yourself. Watch in front of you, the loose puck of Podubny gets nailed and then hauled down to the ice by Ramage. He had one hand on his stick. The Maple Leafs, incidentally, received a telegram from John Candy, a comedian actor from Los Angeles. John Candy from Toronto is a big hockey fan, and he said he wished the Leafs well, and he said, from number 00, John Candy.
They're nearing the 5-minute mark of the second period, and the Blues send the Leafs back. Reed's a pretty good penalty killer and a good checker. He's on there, number 15, clearing that one. Mahar's the other one up front, number 22. Norwood and Bourgeois, the two defensemen of the Leafs, come out. This is Thomas trying to shoot it in. That's deflected by Bourgeois, and it's up about 50 rows here at the arena.
Thomas on the power play. He had 3 shots on goal during that first period. He snapped out, had a little better luck now scoring. He was born in England. His dad was a tool and die operator over there. And from there, the family moved over to Canada, and his dad is involved in the same business in Toronto. A tool and die operator. I guess they make pieces of equipment that need a special blend and special molds to be done.
Brady shooting one in. That took a crazy hop off the boards. The Blues trying to hang on now while the Leafs have the man advantage. And it's going to be Norwood clearing it to the line, but not out. Brady knocked it down for Brad Smith. Brad Smith back of the net. Smith centered it. It comes to Brady's shot. That's blocked. He drilled it right at Mahar. Out to Reeves, one man back. Reeves coming in, shooting, and that's grabbed by Regan. But he had to be clever to make that save as Reeves went for the glove side. And he almost had a pretty good screen there to shoot it by.
He had a real good screen. Regan with a good save. He was set before the shot, used his catching hand. Brady overshot the puck in that St. Louis zone. In other words, he tried too hard to drill it, and he shot it up high, and I believe it was Mahar that blocked it up high. Now watch this, the puck goes to the point, Mahar goes after it. Brady had the puck, it was rolling a little bit, shoot it up way too high. Now it's a one-on-one, and look at the screen of Salming there, and Regan with a good save, and this is called Western Canada goaltending. He puts his stick out and tries to drill Reeds as Reeds came in looking for a rebound. A big competitor is Ken Reggett. He played his junior in Lethbridge for John Chapman, who was as much a competitor as anybody. And it's shown in some of the players like Lanny McDonald who played for him.
Score is tied at 1 here in the second period. They've played 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And the Maple Leafs have another 20 seconds on this power play, but the Blues again are doing a good job killing it. Gilmore is on there. He feeds it back to Pavis, and Pavis shoots it up to the Maple Leaf blue line. Hatsopoulos has to go back with it. Gilmore in. The Blues penalty just about over as Courtnall comes out. Courtnall's long shot deflected off the glass. The penalty is over now. The Blues are at full strength again. And the Leafs, Todd Gill comes in from the blue line. Tries to hang on to it on the boards with his skate and succeeds as he was checked by Paslowski. And the play is called again for a face-off in the St. Louis zone.
Bring the puck into that Toronto zone. McGill wraps up Norwood and hauls him down to the ice. Norwood does a pretty good job and makes the official call it. The Leafs have had to kill 4 power play attempts by St. Louis. In fact, one of them, Beers, did score on the power play, so they're 1 for 4.
And Fedorko is on with Hunter and Sutter. Benning back to the line. He's number 18. Up to Sutter. Sutter shoots it in quickly. Out of the net is Reagan. Tried to dump it out himself. Tyrion reached out and sliced the puck down the ice. And that's young Benning back for it.
The Leafs do not have a shorthanded goal throughout the playoffs this year.
Fedorko on the move for St. Louis. Up near center, shooting it right side. Hunter going in, having some difficulty. Nyland over in a hurry. But Sutter was there to feed it back. Now Benning set it up in front and Reggett grabbed that one away. It was deflected in front of the netminder, and Reggett, very alert, he got his glove on it, and he held it with the Blues coming close. 1:18 left in the penalty to McGill.
What a heads-up play by Benning to try and pass it in front, but the puck, he had to feather it across, and it was simply deflected up, and Reggett had no problems handling it. But Benning went against the grain, read the play, and if that puck had sat down flat, it would have been a great goal-scoring chance. Sutter with a short shift, of course, having problems with the injury. He played in 1 playoff game against Minnesota, was involved in a scrap with Willie Plett and re-injured his shoulder. What do they think of Brian Sutter in St. Louis? Well, he's got a lifetime contract here. Play as long as he can, many years as he can. What an inspiration Sutter is for the Blues.
9:35 remaining in period number 2 here in St. Louis. The game at Edmonton underway in the first period, and we'll have the highlights of that for you. 1:18 left in the power play for the St. Louis Blues. At the line, Ramage had it poked away. Courtnall nearly went in. Now Courtnall again. In with Fergus, who's out there trying to kill this penalty for the Leafs. Salming will slap it back deep in the St. Louis zone. 1 minute left in the McGill penalty. The score tied at 1 here in Game 7 at the arena in St. Louis. Fedorko moving up the center. Good poke check there as the Leafs keep the Blues off stride. Now Reagan grabs it, backhands it right back to Hunter. Hunter fired it in back of the net. The Blues trying to set it up now on this power play. Benning to Ramage. Ramage to the corner. From that far side, Fedorko back of the net again. He comes out front. And Kenny Reggett standing up there, I'll tell you, he was very, very cool standing there. He just knocked it away with his stick.
And the Leafs forced St. Louis to the outside. Reggett had the puck a few minutes ago. He's got to go up high off the glass with it, Bob. Eddie Beers has been a streak scorer throughout his career. He had a lot of problems getting off the mark this season with injuries. But the Blues would like to get him on a streak right about now. He has their lone goal in this game.
There's McGill stepping out of the penalty box, so the Leafs are at full strength again. Tyrion is in there, but he's bumped by Bourgeois. Norwood feeds a pass on the right side, and it's cleared in by Paslowski. Adubny back there watching Sutter, and out for the Maple Leafs in a check, and Tyrion. Tyrion's shot, a high shot, wide of the net. Paslowski takes it off the boards, couldn't find it. When he did, he had to get rid of it. Up to center ice, Paslowski moving up after the puck with Brian Sutter going in there. Adubny watching Sutter. Gill had fallen, but he got back up. and he put it over on the far side, and the Blues in forechecking. Sutter again. He was bumped over there by Todd Gill. And the puck along the boards is cleared out. Now Sutter goes after Inachak and gave him a rip, and I think there's going to be a penalty to Sutter of the St. Louis Blues for elbowing. And here it's 1-1 with Brian Sutter now in the penalty box. 2 minutes for elbowing, and the Leafs with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time in the game. But the Blues have been doing a fantastic job killing penalties. Reeds, along with Mahar, have been two prominent figures killing penalties for the Blues tonight. Up front, Norwood on the defense with Bourgeois.
The teams are combined 1 for 9 on the power play. The Blues 1 for 5, the Leafs 0 for 4. And I'm convinced it's because of good penalty killing by people like Reeds. The speed players are the penalty killers nowadays. Reeds and Mahar here for St. Louis up front. The Leafs had used Lehman, Courtnall, etc. The speed players get the job done very well. Mark Reeds is an excellent defensive penalty killer, and he anticipates perhaps better than anybody on the ice, and he'll break up plays with his quickness.
Fergus with Smith and Thomas. Maxwell on the ice again with Borja-Salming. Pass is outside the line. They'll have to go back to start it again. Maxwell to Salming to center. Salming to Thomas. That pass behind Thomas. Leafs not passing the puck all that well on this power play. Here's Fergus. His pass is blocked. And the Blues, Mahar, shooting it down the ice again. 1:30 left in the penalty now. Maxwell back, takes it around the net. Maxwell starts out, and 3 Leafs skate to the line, and Maxwell just behind him shoots it in from center. That's the plan, to dump it in hard and come in after it with the extra man. But the Blues want to clear it. They can't. Maxwell took a shot, and that's blocked by Millen. The goaltender went down and took it in the chest area and held it.
Maxwell getting a chance to play on the point on the power play. He scored a huge winning goal one year, did Brad Maxwell. That's when New Westminster won the Memorial Cup. Actually, that game was a 1-goal win over Ottawa. The other team in that Memorial Cup that year in Vancouver was Sherbrooke. Rick Vive played for that club, and it was Brad Maxwell with an end-to-end rush. I think it was a 7-6 victory, if I remember correctly. But it was Maxwell's huge goal, and maybe, just maybe, they're playing the odds here. He's being on the point on the power play. Good offensive player. He played for offensive teams in Minnesota and Quebec.
Another tight game tonight in a deciding series game. It's tied at 1 with 6:30 left in the second period. And the Maple Leafs have a power play now. 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the penalty to Sutter. Inachak, Preacher, and Podubny, Maxwell, and Salming. On the face-off, Norwood hops in fast, and Ramage got there ahead of him. So the 2 defensemen had a chance to move it out. Here's Mahar, 1 man back, shoots! And Reggett out, cutting the angle, made the save. Maxwell was the defenseman back. The Blues penalty killing, fantastic so far in this game. In for Podubny, though. He tried to drop it back and hit a skate. The Maple Leafs on it. Maxwell on the boards. Quickly, it's into Preacher. Around the net is Preacher, looking back near the line. There, Iafrate to Preacher. Preacher again with a shot. Bad angle. It hit Millen and bounced to the corner, and the Blues shoot it down the ice again. Only 30 seconds left in the penalty now. The Blues are doing it again. Maple Leafs Courtnall with Clark and Lehman coming in after it. Here comes Lehman first. Now Courtnall. It's Lehman trying to keep it in, but the Blues again. Wickenheiser shoots it away, and that will do it.
Again, St. Louis keeps Toronto power play to the outside. It's tough to break into the middle and get a good shot on Greg Millen.
Iafrate couldn't feed it out of the zone. Wickenheiser on the boards, and the fans are going to give the Blues a rousing cheer now as they stand to applaud the penalty killers. Capacity crowd here up the arena for Game 7. 5:16 left in the second period. And the score is tied at 1. Ramage to Pavis. Pavis gets set. Took the shot, knocked away by Bob McGill, standing in front of Reggett. The Blues more aggressive now. Another shot kicked out by Reggett. And Wendell Clark dumped it to center ice, and Pavis stops it near his own line. Ramage feeds it ahead. Blues again move up after it. Now Lehman gets loose with Wendell Clark along the left side. Lehman shot, a low one, stopped easily by Millen. Hunter missed the pass. Nyland has to hurry though. He circles back in front of Reggett. Two Blues are in there. McGill takes his pass, rolled it down the ice right under the net as Portnoy was dumped, and Hunter is back up the ice. Hunter turns, shoots. A high shot misses. Took a crazy hop off the glass, and the Leafs were there to cover up and clear it out. Again, the Blues come in. Nyland broke it up this time. We welcome you people who've been watching Edmonton and Calgary in their first period out there in Edmonton to this one here at the arena in St. Louis. I'm Bob Cole with John Davidson. 1-1 tie here. And Calgary with a one-goal lead out there in their Game 7 against the Edmonton Oilers. We have 3:55 left in the second period here in St. Louis. We're tied at 1. The Blues are ahead 1-0 after one period on a power play goal by Beers. Brad Smith tied it up early in the second. Bourgeois on the ice, cleared it to Beers. He scooped it ahead with his glove, but the Leafs keep it in. Dao got it in front of Tyrion. Mahar turning back to his own net. Rick 5, not pressed tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And that certainly has hurt the Maple Leafs power play. They're 0 for 5 to this point. Great penalty killing by St. Louis. The Blues 1 for 5, Bob, on their power play. We've seen a good defensive struggle here. The team's working hard. Jacques Demers certainly woke up the hockey world when he made 4 changes for this hockey game. Sutter in the lineup for his first game of this series. He hasn't played much. They put Benning in the lineup. They put Raglan in the lineup. Lots of different changes for the St. Louis Blues. We should mention that we forgot to tell you folks why Terrien went off during that first period. He had a problem with his skate. He had it repaired.
St. Louis Blues. Cavallini gets away from Gill. Stopped though by Kotsopoulos. Terrien gave it to Dao. Dao flipped it into the St. Louis zone. Pavis is over there. Terrien is on top of him. So is Preacher. Preacher couldn't get it loose though. The Blues get it out. Todd Gill bumped his man, Gilmore, and knocked him to the ice. But the Blues got the puck out and down. 1-1 tie with 3 minutes left in the period. Period number 2. That's Preacher up there. Reeds took it away from him. Here's Terrien, shoots! And he went for the far side and just missed it. A very quick shot by Terrien. 2:40 left and the Blues are out. Look at Terrien come back and break up that play from Reeds. Good hustle by Greg Terrien. Preacher got away from Ramage who tried to hit him. Here comes Gill moving up on the play. Lost his stick. Has to go for a new one as the Blues go in. 2 of them, Bourgeois and Paslowski shooting. Reggett had that go off his arm. Cavallini shot, didn't get very far. Norwood getting ready, gave it off to Bourgeois, and that's blocked in front. Reggett out cutting the angle, but the Blues pouring it on here. Now Fergus to center, dropped the pass to Smith, and he got rid of it. 2 minutes left in the period, and the pace is quickened now. Here's Brad Smith getting it in there. Fergus shot, hit the goalpost and bounced away. Center to Smith. He ran into the goaltender and knocked him flat as he tried to hit the puck in front, and here comes Norwood after Smith in the corner. Bourgeois has another Maple Leaf down, or Wickenheiser rather, on the ice at the far side. That is Bourgeois on the ice on top of the Leaf player. Millen was given a shot by Brad Smith. Smith was trying to make contact with the puck in front, and Norwood went after him.
The Leafs with Fergus actually going in there looking for the loose puck originally, and then in came Smith. The puck popped up, and he nailed Millen. He's all right, no problems there as Norm Mackey's helping him out. Fergus with a tricky shot just misses from scoring as he hit the outside of the goalpost. Now watch the puck come back in front, and then Smith's going to try and get it, and he misses the puck, and he nails Millen. Millen was shocked more than anything else, but he's all right. The fans have littered the ice surface here in St. Louis, so Greg Millen is skating to the St. Louis bench. Can he be able to get some fluid into his system? I'm sure sooner or later, perhaps as early as next year, you'll see the teams allow water bottles on tops of the goal nets. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be there. They use them in college hockey very effectively, Bob. And you know, players after every shift are allowed to come to the bench, put the fluid back into their system. Well, why shouldn't goaltenders be able to?
From the face-off, the base with Lehman in chase. Here's Wendell Clark hanging on to it, trying to center it to Courtnall. But it was tipped away, and Mahar's coming back out for St. Louis. He's in with Fedorko, back in front, a good play, but Ramage fanned on the backhander. And the Leafs come out again. It's Lehman up the center, going in with a shot. That missed the net. Wendell Clark on the other side went in after it, put it in behind the net. Wendell Clark circled a goal from the corner. Clark is bumped on the boards, and the Blues dump it out with 1:15 to play in the period. It's going to be icing as Salming is back, and we're down to 1 minute and 10 seconds left in period number 2. JD, it's going to be interesting to see the condition of these teams as we come out for the third. Here in the second period in St. Louis, we're in a 1-1 tie with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the period. Beers scored in the first on a power play at 8:27 to give the Blues a 1-0 lead. And early in the second period at 2:18, Brad Smith got a goal with Thomas setting it up. Down to 1:10 remaining, and the score tied at 1 here in Game 7. St. Louis and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
St. Louis wanted a line change. They couldn't get it. They don't want Gilmore on there against Fergus. Fergus is much stronger before the puck's dropped here. They wanted Fedorko out.
And on the draw, the Leafs control it quickly. That is Thomas, number 32, going in, and Norwood bumping him. Puck at the line, Katsopoulos keeping it in against Wickenheiser. The Blues get a 2-on-1 with 1 minute left in the period. Hunter and Gilmore, two sharp shooters. Hunter stopped by Reggett. Rebound, stopped by Reggett. Can you believe that goaltending? Fantastic goaltending by Ken Reggett with a 2-on-1. Now the Leafs are in there. That is Fergus dumping it to the line. It's intercepted. The Blues are coming out again. Wickenheiser was stopped, though, as he crossed the line. And the Leafs are called on the offside with 36 seconds left in the period. And what action.
Bob, every time Toronto gets into the St. Louis zone, they try to make a turn and then make a pass. But every player is covered. St. Louis are just doing a terrific job covering the play in that St. Louis zone. Here they break one up. It's a 2-on-1. The defenseman will not allow the pass from Hunter over to Gilmore, so it's simply a job of Hunter and the goaltender, and Reggett makes 2 saves. Wickenheiser has yet to score in the series. He had a great chance there, deflected wide of Ken Reggett. Goaltending has been outstanding in this game. The goal that Toronto got by Smith was a fluke goal and was scored from behind the net. But what an outstanding set of netminders we've seen in this game.
Reggett outstanding. Especially, I thought, of the second shot by Wickenheiser. He was right in the slot, JD, about 25 feet out.
Again, remember that game here where he shut out St. Louis 3-0. He was poised and set for each shot. Very similar tonight.
Lehman is upended near center ice. But the Blues come back in. Norwood's drive. And that didn't miss by much. It's still in there with 10 seconds left. The Leafs cleared out of the zone. We'll go into period 3, I think. Tie. Okay, it'll come down to the third period. We haven't solved very much yet. The shots on goal in that second period were even, 12 apiece.
The scoreboard, and they see the score 2-0 in favor of Calgary. I'll tell you, if Edmonton loses, that cup is up for grabs. Anybody's can win that thing. And both these teams know it. Let's get ready. Hang on. This is going to be a good third period.
Canadians and the Rangers open tomorrow night at the Forum in Montreal. Calgary leading Edmonton 2-0 in the second at Edmonton. And this one is knotted up 1-1. And now the third is underway. You want pressure in a Stanley Cup Series game? You've got it here in St. Louis. Preacher dumped one in, but on the left wing, Podupny had moved in across the line, and offside is called.
Bob, is the fact that we have to watch both teams check away from the puck. And St. Louis and Toronto have both done a good job of checking away from the puck, and it's also up to the defensemen to do their best to clear people out in front of that net so nobody can find the loose pucks.
Each team with a big line on now. The Fergus line for Toronto, Fedorko line for St. Louis. So look for something to happen here. Fergus steals the puck, centers it. It's taken on the far side and cleared out of the zone by LaValle. Up to Hunter. Hunter wrapped it in. Reggett stopping that one off the boards. Salming is back to the net. Here comes Fedorko watching him. The pass gets to Smith, however. Up to Thomas, wheeling in. Thomas's shot. He ripped it hard, but wide. It's kept in by Salming. Knocked down in front of the net. Smith couldn't get a stick on it. Hunter slides a pass into the Maple Leaf zone. Fedorko is there. LaValle in front of the net. LaValle going behind the net. Brad Smith trying to tie him up, and he did just that. Fergus now along the boards, but it's stopped by Norwood. A high shot misses. Rebound comes in front. Hunter there with the puck. Hunter trying to center it, trying to go back of the net. Salming didn't see where the puck was. Now he does. The two players fall, and they're tired. You can tell already in this third period. Dog tired before this period will be over. Write that one down. Leafs make a change. Not a bad move for St. Louis. Norwood shot, and Reggett saved the day for the Maple Leafs. Smith started to the bench, JD, and he saw that that was an error, and he turned to get back and wasn't there in time.
And Salming had no stick. He had broken the blade on his stick. I think if Norwood had have seen that, he may have tried to go around Salming. Reggett read the play very well. He was 20 feet out of the net and made the save, and on top of that, covered up and without letting out a rebound.
I have been in this building when it has been hotter, but let me tell you, not much hotter. It was over 90 degrees again today in St. Louis, Missouri. A capacity crowd here tonight to watch this 7th game, so JD, it's got to be tough down there.
It's very humid here, Bob. It's raining hard outside right now, and the humidity in this part of the country is very, very high.
This is Todd Gill coming out of the zone. Wickenheiser couldn't stop him. Courtnall couldn't fool anybody at the blue line. The defenseman standing right up. Natras now comes back. Courtnall is after him. Natras left it in the corner. Courtnall nearly picked it off. Courtnall still working for it. Tried to center it to Lehman, but Wickenheiser comes out. He has Raglan on the right side. Raglan will come in on cut. Sappel is shooting, and that's blocked by Reggett. It's centered again. Beers couldn't get a shot through. Beers again went after it. Raglan fell. And Todd Gill back to the goal. Here comes Wickenheiser right in front of his own net. Clark takes it up to the line. Got to center ice. Wendell Clark can't get going. At the 3-minute mark of the third, the score tied at 1. That is Nyland from center ice shooting it in. Leafs there, so is Podubny though, with Preacher trying to set up Podubny, and Inachek gets in front, shooting. The backhander was blocked at the blue line. Pinching in was Bob McGill. The Leafs went after it, wrapped it on the boards. The chance for the Leafs now. Inachek, rebound. Another shot from this side. Nyland had his shot blocked. Millen outstanding here at this point. Another shot, and that's wide. Here's a drive by McGill. Tipped wide of the net. Preacher centered it. Leafs all over the place now. Another shot. Millen drops on it, and he hangs onto it. And the crowd here in the arena stand up again.
Podubny, Inachek, Preacher get forcing the St. Louis Blues. Very seldom tonight have you seen St. Louis run around. This time they do. The skill level of Preacher and Inachek shows here as they fake the shot. Ramage goes down. Watch this. There's Ramage. That's a skill play, and there's some better skills right there by Greg Millen as he made a great save. Watch Ramage go down. Now this time they're going to move it back, and Millen's going to stop it by simply standing up against the goalpost on the short side, and he makes the save. Now, it looked easy for Millen, but it's a smart play to stay on your feet and up against the goalpost on the short side.
Still tied at 1, nearing the 4-minute mark of the third period. 3:38 gone. To be precise, Hunter moved a bit too quickly.
And the battle grows. Smith against Hunter. They've been against each other all night long. Jockeying for position.
Leafs get the draw. Salming from the blue line takes the shot. Millen stopped it, however, couldn't hang on to it. Thomas went in there, but he was covered by Bourgeois. And the Blues are going to clear it out and move to center. Fedorko going in with Hunter on the wing. Here comes LaValle going in hard. LaValle ran into the boards. He was checked by Iafredi. Brad Smith trying to dump it out. He failed to get it out. Smith is going to get a penalty as he drags Norwood.
Norwood always seems to be around the action. action. Here he pinches very smartly, and Smith had to reach out, and he did haul him down. St. Louis 1 for 5 on the power play. That was a goal by Beers. It was a rebound from Baslowski's shot, Bob.
An important part of this hockey game now. Reagan makes the first stop. A shot by Benning from the blue line was right on, and it was a good save by Reagan. Power play, St. Louis, another drive. Not a good one this time. Dow and Turian come out of the zone. Dow carries the puck up with a shot. That's deflected high over the net. And Ramage circles back to the goal. Turian Dow with McGill and Nyland, the defenseman. Here comes Fedorko in a hurry. Centered it. Oh, Reagan got a piece of that. And it went up off the glass. Another game saver by Reagan. Out for Dow and Turian. They're in there again. Dow tried to center it. He wants to get to the bench now. They're tiring out there, these penalty killers. Well, there's no time to move. McGill breaks it up at the line, and offside is called at the Maple Leaf blue line. Now they get an opportunity to make a change.
As Smith's in the penalty box, Hunter had a wide open shot from the slot, and he hooked it wide. Well, watch, it's Fedorko and the line mates dump it in, and then they control it. That's the key, dump and control. Fedorko, what a play. And Reagan got that with his goal stick as he reached out in desperation. Benning, the defense partner of Hunter, teammate, had his hands up in the air. He thought the puck was in the net. What a play by Fedorko to get it back, and Ken Reagan, the save of the series.
It should have been in the net, except for a great save by Reagan. Here's Natras coming up. Natras being bumped by Katsopoulos. A minute left for the penalty. The Blues power play continues. We're tied at 1 here in St. Louis. Game 7. This is Fedorko. Fedorko will try to maneuver behind the net for Paslowski. Fedorko is tied up, got loose again. Beers went in to help. Beers got a pass over in front. Lehman was there, and it's cleared out. Courtnall tried to shoot it in. Lehman nearly got a break. Millen out of the net 35 feet, and he dumped it the other way around the goal. 35 seconds left, and the penalty to the Maple Leafs. Brad Smith, 1-1 tie. The Leafs doing a pretty good job now killing this penalty. The Blues will have to clear it out. Natras is coming to the line to center. Natras up with a hard fake. He didn't shoot it. Boy, can he shoot him when he wants to, and that time he just reared back and said, no, I won't. But Reagan was coming out. I guess that's why he wanted to go to the corner with it. It didn't work because the Leafs shoot it down the ice, and JD, they've killed the penalty now. The Blues have done a pretty good job tonight. Now the Leafs.
Good penalty killing as a result of good goaltending. We've seen it at both ends of the ice. That's why the power plays have not really had great stats in this hockey game.
Cleared out again. Dow won't reach this one. Turian will, giving it to Smith. Smith's shot kicked away by Millen. Here's Ramage starting up to Reeds. Reeds rink-wide pass. Mahar is in there, bumped by Bob McGill. Reagan dumped it away to the corner, and Reeds is in after it with Mahar. The Leafs covering up. Showing more drive now in this third period, the Maple Leafs.
Bob, you saw Reagan that time flip the puck up on the glass, and that bought some time for his defensemen. They then got the puck out of the zone.
Here's Podubny trying to go in. Couldn't quite do it. Katsopoulos has to wait for Podubny to come out. The pass to the line. Cavallini covering on Freacher. Katsopoulos tried to stop it at center. They played 7 minutes of the third period. Wide open now. Good chances at both ends. Podubny failed to clear. It's passed out to Freacher, though. Freacher to Winnichat. Freacher's been hurt. He was nailed at the blue line. Freacher is down on the ice as Norwood caught him with his head down and really hit the Leaf player.
Bob, this is long after Freacher had passed the puck across to his teammate, I believe it was Winnichat, and Norwood stood him up and nailed him. I'm not sure if Freacher was watching the pass or what, but it was a good second or two after the pass, and he was nailed. He appears to be all right. He's getting up on his own steam now and heading over to the bench.
He's okay as he goes to the Maple Leaf bench. And here we're tied at 1. That is Miroslav Freacher on the Leaf bench. He was hit very hard by Norwood at the St. Louis blue line and flattened. Took him a while. He got up, though, and made it to the bench under his own power. The Blues shoot it in. They're in after it. That is Hunter. Back of the net. It's centered. They score! Kevin LaValle giving the Blues a 2-1 lead.
Look where this pass comes from, Bob. Right behind the net, Federico and Hunter. Watch this, he sets it up, he sees LaValle as Hunter picked his man in front. Watch Hunter stay with Fergus, and that allowed LaValle to skate in all by himself. McGill couldn't get back. McGill had been laying on the ice as he was knocked down a few moments before that. And Federico, who kept the full ice service in front of him, watch this. Now we're gonna see McGill go down here. Loses balance, bang, he's down, he's out of the play. Now they 2-on-1 in front of the net. Federico watches everybody. Gives it to LaValle before McGill could get back. That was perfectly executed.
Portnoy for the Maple Leafs falls and can't move the puck in. Iafrate has to come back. 18,034 here tonight at the arena. Watching this game 7. Glad you're with us at home. Cole with John Davidson in the broadcast booth at the arena in St. Louis, with the Blues leading by just a goal. It's 2-1 as they near the halfway mark of the third period. The winner of this will go on to meet the winner of Calgary-Edmonton, and that's 2-1 at the moment in the second for Calgary. Back in there is Brad Smith, dumping it to center. Paslowski fired one in. Salming turns, coming out. Here's a long pass that's trapped by Fergus. Fergus in there with Smith on the board. Smith going in. Bourgeois giving him a ride in on the glass. Federico went back to help out. 5 players in on the boards. And they stopped the play for a face-off in the St. Louis zone. Bourgeois and Smith having some words now. There's the time remaining. And all you need to know, not all you need to know, you'd love to know what'll happen in the next 6 minutes. So would we, so stick with it. And we'll both find out. The Maple Leafs up there with Fergus in to take the draw. They're a little anxious. Now they're going to drop the puck in. And the puck is cleared back to Salming. A good chance. Iafrate. High shot misses. It's centered. Fergus is there. So is Brad Smith. Smith trying to stop Wickenheiser, and he can't do it. Wickenheiser got to center ice, was pushed around a bit. 5:40 to play in the third. Here's Iafrate trying to come out. He's knocked down. Puck comes to center, and the Blues shoot it in. That's their plan now. Check very closely. Quick shift everybody, and get the puck down the ice into the Leaf zone. Leafs soon will have to open up and try to get that tie-break, that tying goal. Here's Salming's backhander. That's blocked. And offside at the St. Louis blue line, and tempers flare again.
St. Louis only once have carried the puck into the Toronto zone during the last 7 or 8 minutes, and that was by Federico. Every other time they dump it in, and what happens is they're crowding and trying to smother the Maple Leafs between the blue lines in that neutral zone.
And the Campbell Conference will begin on Friday night. Just have a look at your local listings, and you'll see where we'll have that game telecast for you. 4:50 now to play in the third period of this one. Blues shoot it down the ice again. 2-1 St. Louis. We have 4:33 left now. The Maple Leafs trailing the Blues by a goal. It's 2-1 as LaValle has scored here in the third for St. Louis. Over 18,000 here at the arena. Loving every moment of the last few moments of this game. It's starting to get a little physical now. Frustrations are setting in, of course. The Blues just trying to bar the door on the Maple Leafs now with only 4:20 to play. And they lead by the slightest of margins. It's just 2-1.
And Koharski is going to give some penalties out here. I believe Bourgeois and Freacher are headed in the direction of the penalty box. Now, Bourgeois has been one of the 5 defensemen that have been employed by Jacques Demers as this game winds down. Actually, he's been going with Pavis and Ramage. Bourgeois a lot along with Norwood. This means Natras is going to get a little more ice time. Now with Freacher gone, what they'll do is change the line immediately and put Court. And we're about to get it going here. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. 2-1 Blues.
Cardinal with Clark and Lehman for the Maple Leafs. Gilmore at center for St. Louis. Cavallini, Mahar also on the ice. There's Mahar, 22. Leafs try to get something going here. Lehman's shot, picked away by Millen. That goaltender for St. Louis has been hot on the entire series. Cardinal shot, and you talk about hot. Look at that save off Cardinal. It was labeled for the far corner, and he made the save. Fantastic save by Millen. That might have been a game saver.
Twice St. Louis tried to get out of their own zone by firing it along the boards. It was intercepted by the Leafs, and you saw Greg Millen in acrobatic fashion use his catching hand and hang on to the puck for the face-off. St. Louis, love to use the boards. They fired around as much as possible. Solming read the play twice, and they popped the puck into the middle, and Cardinal had a great scoring chance.
Remaining in the third period. The St. Louis Blues hanging on for dear life to a one-goal lead. The winner of this game, of course, wins the Norris Division Championship and will go on to meet either Edmonton or Calgary in the conference final. That'll start Friday night. But let's get back to this one. It ain't over yet, as they say. Nyland at his own blue line. Solming miscued a bit. Couldn't control it, and Reeds was allowed to go in, but Nyland is back in the net. Starting out, look at the 5 Blues right across center ice. They're all back there. Not much room to penetrate for the Maple Leafs. However, they're in there. So is Smith shooting it. Oh, what a save by Millen! It was deflected, and I don't know how. I do not know how he moved, how he saw that deflection, but he did both. Millen, a great save again on a deflection in front of the net. It's still 2-1. Kotsopoulos deflected into the crowd.
That save by Millen was simply a natural instinct. He read the play, was going to move across. The puck was going to go wide. It was deflected, and it hit him. Dan Maloney signaling he wants a timeout right now. Watch this play as it's deflected, and Millen is moving across, and he read it, and what a sensational save. What a reaction. My goodness, look at that stick save by Greg Millen. Incredible as it deflected off of Steve Thomas.
Now, timeout.
As he moves across, watch his stick. Watch the deflection from the slot. Goodness gracious, does he get across and make a save right there?
Back to the live action, and the Leafs can't keep it in. Puck comes to center. Now they're going to shoot it in. Two minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third period here at the arena in St. Louis. And we're getting down to the last couple of minutes now in this game. The Blues lead 2-1. The Maple Leafs doing everything but beat Greg Millen in the net for St. Louis. The Blues hanging on to that one-goal lead. Can they do it? Puck is out in the center ice area. And Fedorko's falling for time, knocked it in. The Blues with a one-goal lead and a gallant effort by the Maple Leafs. Will it come up short? We don't know. And Solming, the veteran, comes out of the zone. Less than 2 minutes to play. Solming shoots it in. Everything on the line here in Game 7 at the arena in St. Louis, and both these teams know it. From center, Nyland. He is stopped by Reeves. And the play is called at the Maple Leaf blue line with 1 minute and 42 seconds left. And the crowd is standing again. Reichert is over at the bench, JD. And no doubt, he is getting word on when and if he will leave the net. Never mind if. With 1:42 remaining, and the Leafs get inside the line. If they don't get a goal early here, Reichert will leave, and they'll have the extra tacker on.
Well, Jacques Demers has a lot more experience than does Dan Maloney as a coach. He was very uptight before this one started, rightly so. Dan Maloney, his players, each and every one of them have mentioned what a great job he has done behind the bench. They said Dan Maloney has been so patient, so quiet, so positive, It has been a major help. Two coaches that have done a great job in this series. 1:42 remaining in the third.
All right, here we go. Seventh game. 1:40 left, and the Maple Leafs are after it. They're going in, shooting it back to the net, and here comes Podubny barreling in there. Cavallini on the boards, trying to clear it out. Reggett is still in the net. From the corner, Podubny. He is bumped. At the side of the net, the puck is cleared. Down the ice. Reggett had a notion to come out. Cavallini going in. Reggett stopped him. Cavallini ran into Reggett. And the play is called. We have 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining. And Mr. Man, this one is going to break open now. The St. Louis Blues are leading the Maple Leafs 2-1. And the Blues down the ice. Cavallini stopped by Reggett. And then he barreled. Can the Blues hang on? 1 minute and 12 seconds left in the third period. Game number 7. JD, you don't get much closer than this. This has been a heck of a series. The Maple Leafs and the Blues have given us to call and for you at home to watch.
The teams are very, very even. They were not even throughout the season, but some Leafs matured. Both teams have had outstanding goaltending. Ken Reggett's been the most valuable Toronto Maple Leaf. As far as a lot of people are concerned, Greg Millen has been excellent. Look at Jacques Demers, ever so positive. Here we go. Listen to the ovation.
They're up again. And the Maple Leafs to the line. Gilmore, a standout in the series, shoots it in for St. Louis. Folks, we're down to 1 minute left in the third period of this one. And the Blues can't keep it in. Here comes Fergus. He's stopped. Reggett trying to leave the net. The Leafs shoot it in. Here comes Reggett to the bench. 50 seconds left. The Maple Leaf net is empty. Salming bumped at center. Wendell Clark ran into him. A high shot off Millen. He doesn't see it. It's in the corner. The Leafs have 6 skaters on. And the net is off the moorings again, I believe.
I think, Bob, what happened there, yes, you're right. The left goalpost is up a little bit, but Koharski thought that Greg Millen had the puck. He did not. It was in the corner, and he blew the whistle because he had lost sight. He didn't know where the puck was. Greg Millen had a great slap shot to contend with. It was up high on his chest, and it went off his blocker. Now the faceoff is to the right of Greg Millen, and this is where St. Louis is going to miss Rick Mahar.
I tell you, Millen didn't know where the puck was. It bounced high and went into the corner. Now, the Leaf net is empty, and the Leafs have 6 skaters on for this faceoff to the right of Millen. Only 40 seconds remaining.
And I want you to watch Gilmore cheat. He's number 9, White. He's going to be the centerman, I think, on this faceoff. And he turns his body. He almost faces the boards. He wants to get it on his forehand and pull it back into the corner. He's going to go opposite Fergus for the Leafs.
Last shot now for the Maple Leafs. If they want another shot at this in overtime, they've got 40 seconds to get something going. Fergus is in on this important draw. Doesn't get dropped on the first attempt as Reeds was hustling through the circle. Now we're set. Fergus and Preacher are up close. Salming took a swipe at Pavis there to the right. Ramage, is it? Yes, Ramage. He's watching Salming.
Again, Bob, watch Gilmore cheat for St. Louis in that faceoff circle. If you can get away with it, do it. He almost turns his body into a semicircle here.
Iafrate is at the line, along with Thomas. Preacher and Wendell Clark are over in front of the net. 40 seconds left, folks. Fergus got the draw. Ramage hammered it on the boards. Iafrate stopped it there and kept it in. Here's Thomas at center to scramble for it. Iafrate hustling in for the blue line with 30 seconds left, and the Blues get it out of his own. Gloved ahead. It'll be called back, and a face-off again inside the St. Louis blue line. 28 seconds remaining. What drama here at the arena in St. Louis. Game number 7 of the Norris Division Final. The St. Louis Blues and the Toronto Maple Leafs. What a series it has been, and it ain't over yet.
That was unreal. Gilmore won that faceoff clean, but Toronto read the play. St. Louis come out around the boards, Bob. The Leafs read it and kept it in and almost had a scoring chance.
All right. Ready to drop it in is Kevin Collins, and he calls the play again. It wasn't done fairly. We have 27 seconds remaining. in the third period. The St. Louis Blues lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1. And the net is empty. Reggett is on the bench.
Dan Maloney wants time put back on the clock when Kevin Collins blew his whistle quickly. A couple of seconds ticked off, and Maloney right now is pleading. He wants that time reinstated. I don't think he's going to get anywhere.
Salming is slowly coming back to take up his position inside the line. The Blues lead by 1. Can they hang on? The Leaf net is empty. Blues dump it to the line, not out. It's tipped in back of the St. Louis net. Toronto in after it. Here's a chance. Salming fanned on it. The Blues get a chance. Reeves stopped by Salming. Leafs can't bring it in. 13 seconds, that's all. I afraid he ahead to Salming. 8 seconds, a tremendous countdown here in St. Louis. And the Blues have won it. They will advance. Dan Maloney and Jacques Demers, two coaches that should feel very proud of what they both accomplished in this series. The Maple Leafs weren't given much of a shot. They defeated Chicago. Against St. Louis, not much of a shot. And here we are after the 7th game in this series, a gallant series, great effort by both teams. St. Louis will go on. The season for Toronto is over on a 2-1 victory here tonight at the arena in St. Louis.
And there's the coach that's loved by his players, Jacques Demers. They lost a couple of years ago to Minnesota in the 7th game in overtime, the divisional final. He's overcome with emotion. Greg Millen, their team was outshot 11-6 by Toronto in the 3rd period. Greg Millen was outstanding, particularly on a deflection save, another one on a save with his catching hand from Russ Courtnall. And the emotion, imagine this 7-game series, 1 goal difference between those two clubs. Demers loves the effort of people like Smith. He loves the effort that the other teams put forward. He's an ever positive person. I think he's more responsible than anybody for bringing hockey back to St. Louis.
You know, it's great to see. You've got Jacques Demers, and here you've got Dan Maloney. This is what it's all about. We're going to fight you tooth and nail right to the end. But, buddy, if you beat me, I take my hat off to you. Rick 5 on the ice. Wished he could have played tonight, but could not. Talking to another. Great effort, tight player, Brian Sutter. He shouldn't be playing, and he's here tonight. Great series.
It was just guts on both teams, and look at that right there. Dan Maloney has something to build on, I'll tell you that. The young kids learned a lot. Jacques Demers, exuberance showing. Look at that. That says it all.